Gauranga. Nothing is there. Okay, I'm going to sing a song glorifying Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan. Prabhupada used to sing this song, Jai Radha Madhava. You know how to adjust this?
Yeah.
My.
Sure.
All like that, okay. That's good, yeah. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabhal Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabhal Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Antara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Everyone familiar with Sanskrit? You can read? Okay. So first I'll repeat the line, then you can repeat after me, yeah? Yada hi netriyadesu No? Can you repeat? Okay. Okay, I'll do it myself. Yata hi netriyadesu Nakamasu anusajate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yoga tadu uchate yadahi nedriyadeshu nakamesu anusajate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yoga tadasa uchate. Anyone want to try? Can't do it, don't worry. You can try. Okay, you can try. Yeah, try. Yadahi natidadesesu nakamajesu nanusujate Sarva Sankalpa Sannyasi Yoga Yurdastada Uchate. Anyone else? Okay, word for word. You know how to do this? Okay. Word for word. Okay. Yada. When I say yada, you repeat with yada, then word for word, yeah? So yada, when he certainly na not indriya athesu in sense gratification na never kamesu in fruitive activities anusajyate one necessarily engages sarva sankalpa of all material desires, sannyasi, renouncer, yoga, anurada, elevated in yoga, tada, at that time, uchate, it is said to be. So this is a translation now. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when, having renounced all material desires, he neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. Okay. When a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself, and thus he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or in fruitive activities. Otherwise, one must be engaged in sense gratification, since one cannot live without engagement. Without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities. But a Krishna conscious person can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna and thereby be perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desires before being elevated to the topmost rung of the yoga ladder. Om Agyanti Mandasya Gana Gana Salakya Chaksu Militamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapidamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dudati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayane Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschachayane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Gadada Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Actually, someone else was meant to give the class, but he couldn't come, so I'm covering. So I'll try my best to speak on this verse. So, it says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vadanti tattva veda tattvam jnanam ajayam brahmeti brahmameti bhagavantiti sabhyate. There is three understandings of the absolute truth. First is considered the Brahman. It's like the sunshine. Next is like the Paramatma, the sun planet. And the highest is the sun god. Krishna as a person. So, the Krishna as a person, he's got 6 opulences: wealth, strength, knowledge, beauty, renunciation, fame. And the Paramatma is dealing with the material energies in this world. And Brahman is just energy. So, although Krishna has all these 6 opulences, he's not attached to them at the same time. He can be renounced. So we see in the example of the Battle of Kurukshetra how Krishna wasn't attached to the situation of the Battle of Kurukshetra. He tried to make peace with the enemy, the Kurus. Those who surrendered to him, they got protected, and those who didn't, they had to face the consequences of being punished. But Krishna was equal. He wasn't making sides. He tried to also gain peace with the other side. Uh, and so Krishna has created the material world to teach the living entities that this is not their home. So, in the material world, everyone is governed by three modes of nature: goodness, passion, ignorance. They're affected by three kinds of miseries: misery by the body and mind, by the living entities and natural disturbances. So, when Krishna comes to this world, he shows by example how to live in this world and how to not be attached to this world. So, when Krishna had 16,108 wives, it wasn't like he had to wait 16,108 days for each wife, but each wife had a big palace with 10 children. And Krishna expanded himself to 16,000 forms, 16,108 forms. So, in this purport, Prabhupada speaks about the yoga ladder. So, there is three understandings of this yoga ladder. First one is where someone's too much into bodily activities. They're too much attached to the bodily platform. So, for them, the Ashtanga Yoga is recommended, that they control the life phase of the body. In this way, they become purified slowly. They can understand how they are not the body, they are spirit, soul. And in this way, slowly understand Krishna in the heart as Paramatma. And then Dhyana Yoga, then there's Jnana Yoga, where people like to be contemplative, they like to research things and analyze things. So, in this age of Kali, Prabhupada explains that Kali Yuga, our time is not that long. We don't have that long that we can do like that. Better to accept the direct path, which is Bhakti Yoga, devotion to Krishna, devotion. That's a direct path. The other path, the Jnana Yoga path, will take many, many births. Whereas the Bhakti Yoga you can do in this lifetime. You can achieve perfection in this lifetime. And we can see when Srila Prabhupada, he was spreading Krishna consciousness throughout the world, he encountered many different levels of people in India, which class of people, the scholarly class, the impersonalists. But Srila Prabhupada never compromised his standards in terms of presenting Krishna as a person. And he gave the pure teachings in the line of the self-realized teachers. So, this is one of the things we have to contemplate in our life, that how much are we ready to accept the self-realized teachers? How much are we ready to accept their teachings? If we are ready to open to accept their teachings, then in this lifetime we can achieve perfection. Unfortunately, people hold on to their material attachments, and because of that they get affected by the modes of nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, and three kinds of miseries affect them. And then they get caught up in the material world. So this material energy is very strong. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7:14, Devi Shugunamai Mama Maya Driyatya Mama Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. That is, the divine energy is very strong to overcome. But those who surrender unto me, they can overcome this energy. So, in one sense, the process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. That if you accept the self-realized teachers, what they are giving, and you accept what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, and then you take the association of the devotees who are practicing Krishna consciousness, then the process becomes very easy. But if we don't follow this line of Guru Sadhu Shastra, and we take guidance of people who are not following, then the complication comes in. Because there's two things. There's people, the cheaters, and those who are weak-hearted. So the weak-hearted people, in time, if they properly read the scriptures, and they take association of advanced devotees, and they take to this practice of Krishna consciousness by chanting the holy name, by discussing the scriptures, clearing their doubts, in time they'll become elevated. But the cheaters, they will never change. Cheaters will be misguided because they don't want to surrender to Krishna. They want to become Krishna. They want to try and imitate Krishna. So, just like in India, there were 3 people claiming to be avatar of Kalki. So they were brought into court. These 3 people, they were brought into court. And amongst themselves, they were arguing about who's the avatar of Kalki. The judge said, if you're an avatar, why are you arguing amongst yourself? You have to prove yourself to be an avatar. So in this way we find people want to be cheated. And people, because they're reading Srila Prabhupada's books, they're understanding things properly now. And through the proper knowledge, they can understand what is the correct thing and what is not the correct thing. So, in the path of Krishna consciousness, the challenge is to come to mode of goodness. So mode of goodness means you have to practice a life of discipline. So the day before you take rest early, next day you get up early. So in the temple, the first Mangalarti is 4:30. So devotees wake up 4 o'clock latest. But ideally, pujaris wake up 2:30, 3 o'clock like that. So these are the times you have to wake up. In this way, if you practice spiritual life, everything becomes easy. But what's happening in modern day society is they go against this. Their day begins at 9 o'clock in the evening and it finishes 3 in the morning. Whereas for devotees, our day begins, we take rest at 9, get up at 3 in the morning. So you can see the opposite thing is happening. They're doing the opposite of what we are doing as devotees. In Bhagavad Gita, it explains how what is night time for the sage is daytime for the non-devotee, and what is daytime for the devotees is nighttime for the non-devotees. So we can see how everything is happening in a way to bewilder the people who don't want to surrender to Krishna. They get covered by the modes, and those who want to surrender, their path is very easy. Even in modern times where difficulties are coming in, we see the devotees, their path is not so disturbed because they're protected by Krishna. Whereas for the non-devotees, we can see they're affected by the difficulties out there because they are not ready to surrender to Krishna's instructions, so then they get affected by the outside circumstances in the material world. So Prabhupada gave a very simple example. He said, just like state laws, a person in society cannot just create them. He has to come from the government. The same thing, God's laws are coming through the line of self-realized teachers. And if we accept those teachings, then life becomes easy. Because the goal of life is to understand you're not the body. We are spirit, soul. And we are part and parcel of Krishna. So Prabhupada gave interesting examples. You can hear Prabhupada lectures. Prabhupada, you can desire, ISKCON Desire Treat. You can log on to that. You get the Prabhupada lectures. In one of the lectures, Prabhupada was saying how you may want a child, but sometimes the child is born dead. Happens, So, but no one will keep a dead child because they know who wants to keep a dead body? You just throw it away, right? Get rid of it. So ultimately, that's happening with Krishna's sanction that you get a child. It's all under Krishna's sanction. So Prabhupada put the question: Why is the body so dear to us? Because the soul is there. So why is the soul dear to us? Because it's part and parcel of Krishna. So ultimately, Krishna is the dearest object for us. But those who are conditioned by for many lifetimes by the modes, then they have to practice this sadhana bhakti, getting up in the morning. In initial stage, Prabhupada, he says 64 rounds on the beads. It's like 5 hours chanting, 5 to 6 hours. Devotees couldn't do it in America. Prabhupada could see they don't have the austerity of sitting down for long hours. And Prabhupada minimizes 16 rounds, which is doable. Takes 2 hours. And that's the difference between what we practice in Krishna consciousness and the other faiths. Many faiths, Christianity, Islam, even Hinduism, they don't accept God as a person. They see him as energy. And Prabhupada explains in one of his lectures, the reason for that is because these people want to get into sense gratification. If you accept God as a person, you can't get into sense gratification. You're liable, you're how do you say, you have to look up to authority, and they want to deny that. But that doesn't go to say that because they do that, they're not going to suffer any reaction. Because God is there. He's a supreme authority. And He's watching us at all times. And in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, in the story of Jad Bharat, Prabhupada explains there's so many authorities watching us. The sun, the moon, nighttime, daytime, the wind, Krishna in the heart. So there's no action we can escape. We all being watched by Krishna. But the thing is, Krishna gives us freedom because we are not robots. He wants loving reciprocation from us. So, Krishna allows that freedom in such a way as to teach us lessons through the school of hard knocks that this is not our real place. So because of lack of knowledge, people get entangled in the material world. And people try to manipulate the natures of nature, laws of nature. And because of this, complications come in. Just like this morning, I heard a lecture by Bhaktivedanta Manor. You can hear these lectures on ISKCON Desire Tree, it's all there, all the lectures of the different spiritual masters. So, and this is 9th canto Bhagavatam. He was explaining how in Ohio, there was one lady, she had 4 nieces, 11 years old, and 1 2-year-old child. So the lady, she left her child and went to see the flower shop just to get something. And as the 2-year-old child, he got from the purse, he took out a gun and he pointed at the mother and he shot her. So in America, it's allowed to have guns. So the law, they said, we can't stop having guns. This is not right. That guns is not an issue, and this person cannot be blamed. But the question was, why did she have the gun in this particular situation, in this shop? She didn't need to take the gun. So they generalized it like that. But the point is, they try and generalize things, but things are complicated. In San Francisco, there was a drought for many years. So the government made water filters. 10 billion pounds they spent to make these water filters to get salt out of the ocean, so people can have water. All of a sudden, it started raining heavy, and these water filters had no issue; they couldn't use them. So from these examples, we can see there's high authority above us. We are not fully independent. We have minor independence. So the human life, we got the advantage of becoming self-realized. Out of the 8,400,000 species, the civilized human life is very rare. And in this, we are blessed to live in Kali Yuga, although it's the worst of types. But Vyasadeva glorified Kali Yuga. He said, in this Kali Yuga, although times are bad, but there's one good quality. That if you take to this chanting of Hare Krishna, you serve devotees, you go back to Godhead. No more suffering. In other yugas, you have to take a long, long time to achieve perfection. In Dwapara Yuga, you live 1,000 years, deity worship. In Treta Yuga, you live for 10,000, you do sacrifices, big sacrifices. In Satya Yuga, you live for 100,000 years, you do yoga, meditation. But in the Kali Yuga, although times are bad, but you can achieve perfection very quickly. And this particular Kali Yuga is Maha Kali Yuga, because Lord Chaitanya has come. When Lord Chaitanya comes, when Krishna and Lord Chaitanya come, their coming is very rare. So there's 1,000 of the 4,000 cycles of the 4 yugas. So one cycle of the 4 yugas is 4,320,000 years. The Kali Yuga we passed 5,000 years, which is 432,000 years. The Dwapara Yuga is 464,000 years. The Treta Yuga is 1,296,000 years. And the Satya Yuga is 1,728,000 years. So if you multiply that 1,000 times, it comes to 4.23 billion years. So within that one time, Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya come. And when they come, they give the mercy to everybody. And they give the access to Goloka Vrindavan, which is the highest. Where normally, in normal Kali Yuga, people can enter Vaikuntha at the most. But Lord Chaitanya, He's giving it to everybody. Prabhupada explained, normally in this particular time of 5,000 years of Kali Yuga, demons would have taken over the earth. But because of Lord Chaitanya's coming, He's holding the demons back. He's not allowing them to take over. From the lower planets, they would have come and taken over the earth by now. So, Prabhupada told the devotees to preach in Russia because he said the demons who are like bears, they're coming from the lower planets to take over the earth in Russia. So Prabhupada told devotees, you all go and preach in Russia. The Russian people, they have austerity behind them, but they're just misguided. So, so that's what happened. The communism broke down. So now is the golden opportunity to take to Krishna consciousness more. That it's like the example is given. A millionaire, he can make anyone a millionaire by giving £1 million. No problem. So Lord Chaitanya is giving the holy name. It's like Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. The holy name is like a Chintamani. You heard of the Chintamani? If you touch any iron, it becomes gold. The holy name is like that. It's like more valuable than Chintamani because it can fulfill all your desires. Example can be given, just like Kadama Muni, he was like a Prajapati. Now, to satisfy his wife Devahuti, he created a big palace, like an aeroplane, like a big city, And he took her around the universe, took Devahuti around the whole universe to different higher planets and heavenly planets. And so he's just a jiva, like us. But he's a Prajapati, he's got a high position. So imagine what the holy name can do. Holy name is not different from Krishna and full of unlimited potencies. Imagine what the holy name can do for you. So this is the understanding that this path of Bhakti Yoga is made easy by Lord Chaitanya's mercy. He says by Lord Chaitanya's mercy the difficulties become easy, and without his mercy the easy become difficult. So the acharyas have made it much easier for us. So if you take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's teachings and we read his books, Prabhupada said, if devotees read my books 1 or 2 hours every day, then renunciation will come into them. Because knowledge is compared to fire, it burns up ignorance. So Prabhupada, when he was reading his books, the devotees asked him, why are you reading your books? So Prabhupada said, I didn't write these books, Krishna wrote them. So when you read these books, you're associating with Krishna directly. And the other thing is, you serve those who are free from lust. By serving those who are free from lust, you become free from lust. So, this is why being in the temple environment is good, because here you're depending on mercy, on blessings. Outside you're just entangled in karma, good and bad karma. Any questions or comments? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
I don't know. Yeah. Gokulananda ki Jiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati ko Shobha Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati ko Shobha घंटा बाजे बाजे करता